following was taken during a haunted ghost tour of Salem, MA. This is an old house that has several ghost sightings, especially seen through the windows. The story goes that a man and his family lost their lives in there. The ghost on this picture was taken in an area where the house butts up against another house, and not a common walkway, very narrow area. The photos before and after are clear and not this blurry. So, what do we say to this one? Did this person capture a real ghost? Some commenters say that this looks like a child that might be wearing a white dress. Could this be so? This video was uploaded by paranormal enthusiast and ghost hunter Tim Morozov. Tim regularly visits known haunted and abandoned locations, and in this episode he's visiting an abandoned village that apparently was discovered a few years ago by some hunters while they were in the area. Apparently there were sightings of a woman in white in this village by a few people.
Боковым зрением.
Tim has explored all the houses, and the one he visits today apparently has the strongest paranormal activity out of them all.
Там есть кто-нибудь?
As Tim is setting up his equipment, he captures this strange apparition in the doorway behind him. A strange ghostly shadow moves quickly across the back room. Could this be the spirit of the woman in white? It certainly looks pretty creepy to me, whatever we are seeing here on camera. Now we want to look at a terrifying case which has transpired in a deserted area of Nuevo León in Mexico. There's a little town called Ujescoala, which is accessed by a pretty long and desolated stretch of road. And in that little town is an abandoned and really run-down school building, which was named the Benito School and founded by the governor Don Jose Vichanzo in 1954. The old building still tells the tales of long-forgotten students and people who ventured to this deserted place. The following incident has been made public by a news station. It features a young man who ventured to this old place to investigate it. His name is Gabriel Martinez Navarro, and he made his video public on November the 10th. Apparently he was interested in many of the local tales that were saying that some unearthly forces were still inheriting this old place. There was only one way to find out: driving there by himself.
Vengo a ver porque vi un video donde pues 5 pelados bien peludos sale una voz al principio del video diciendo me duele mucho, pero yo no sé qué chingados le duele a un fantasma. No era neta, pero vengo acá solo para enseñarles de que pues no hay nada, porque pues como para que estén engañando a la gente, pues como que no.
After driving for quite some time, he finally makes it onto the premises and looks for a way in.
Esta es la escuela que tanto les decía. La escuché.
What was that?
Escuché.
It appears that Gabrielle has captured a disembodied voice without noticing it at that moment. How curious. Maybe an omen that he was in for an interesting night?
Por allá hay una novia. Pero la novia no me metía. Porque ese culo sigue siendo un poquito más. Pero hasta la escuela. La escuela de Benito Juárez. La 1954. Hasta más. Pues ya vieron, güey. Puro pinche pedo, no hay ni madres a la verga. Ay, no mames. ¿Qué es esto?
Suddenly, stuff is moving on its own, and the young man is getting pretty afraid of the activity.
¿Quién es? ¿Quién es?
Besides the terrifying paranormal activity in this building, something has Gabriel shook to the core, and you might have missed it. Let's take another look. Something seemed to be peeking around the corner, right at him, and it's pretty certain that it wasn't your average person. What happened that night in this derelict school building? Did the young man maybe fall victim to a haunting that turned him into a believer? Who knows? What's your explanation? This case was documented by a man from Italy who states that he was playing around with a Ouija board as well, and that his curiosity led him to play almost on the daily. He was a bit disappointed at first, since for the longest time he didn't receive any answers from the other side. But eventually this should change, and on this day he had to live through a chilling experience.
Chi c'è? Chi è? fa casino? Chi è che si sentiva? Chi c'è?
As he was all by himself at home that day, he began to hear what sounded like someone was walking around in the house. A loud noise behind him made him jump in fear, and it was more than evident that something was with him at that moment, but he wasn't able to see anything. This was just the beginning, however. 3 days later, his wife would be left alone at home, and this is where it got even more creepy.
Chi c'è? Luce. Chi è stato? Chi ha bussato? Non sono pazza. Non sono pazza. C'è qualcuno? Chi c'è? Dove sei? Fatti vedere. Dove sei? No, dove? Da dove? La cucina, la cucina, la cucina. Cazzo. Cazzo. Qui sto sfuggendo di mano.
Someone was knocking on the door, and then we see that something had thrown glasses on the floor in the kitchen. Just more proof that the use of a Ouija board comes with great danger. The family is still investigating this case, and perhaps there will be more updates very soon. Now we want to take another look at the case of Leon Rido, who's dealing with a terrifying haunting within his own four walls. Last time he saw a sinister face peeking through one of the doors. And tonight it started with some really odd noises once again. Some eerie knocking noises from the bathroom, to be exact.
¿Qué querés? No rompa más la bola, loco, andate. Loco, tranquilo, loco, no me deja tranquilo. Yo tampoco te dejas tranquilo. Si vos no me dejas tranquilo, yo estoy tranquilo. No voy a parar de grabar, yo no te voy a dejar tranquilo.
And once again there's a sinister visage peeking into the frame and staring at him, but when he takes a look there is no trace of this being. He then continues to document.
Le veo la cara de un nene. Es muy chiquitito, pero me está mirando desde hace rato. Estuve en shock. La concha de su madre.
Se escuchan ruidos. Se fue el hijo de puta. Se escuchan ruidos. No, loco, es increíble, pero no hay nadie, Me quedé en shock. No sé cuántos minutos me quedé en shock. No sé, no reaccioné. Me quedé en shock cuando vi esa cara mirándome. Escuchan ruidos. Escuchan ruido del baño. Loco, yo ya no sé. Esto no es vida, loco. Esto no es vida. No sé, loco, no hay nadie. Estoy tratando de ver si lo engancho. Pero estaba fijo mirándome. Perdón si soy repetitivo, pero estoy en shock. Tratando de ver si... No, loco, es una locura. Nunca, miren que me han pasado cosas así, pero nunca algo tan así, tan claro. Loco, se está prendiendo y apagando la luz. ¡Las conchas! No, amigo, no. ¿Qué es eso? No, loco. No, amigo, sí. No, las conchas de su madre. No, loco. Ay, si lo gancho. No, amigo, no se puede ser. Espero que se haya visto claro. Para los que no me creen, espero que se haya visto claro. Loco, no puede ser. No puede. Es una locura. Yo voy a entrar a ver. Es una locura, loco. No.
The scary thing clearly standing in his bathroom and staring at him through the window. You can even see some facial features. But of course, this thing is gone once he takes a look. A few nights later, he starts recording as he is receiving some mysterious calls from an unknown number, which made him feel quite uneasy.
Hola. No soy Daniel.
Daniel, búscame. Daniel, estoy acá.
¿En dónde estás? ¿Quién sos? No soy Daniel yo.
Búscame, Daniel, estoy acá.
¿Quién sos? La verdad no sé.
He believes that these encounters are all connected, and that evil energy in his home is causing all of this. Is this possible? We'll keep our eyes open. A man named Axel Losa has shared the following unsettling encounter. He states that he was in a public bathroom at the time when he heard strange knocks coming from one of the stalls. It was so strange to him that he decided to pull his phone out and to start recording, since nobody else was in the bathroom at the time.
No, te quiero que vean. Estoy ahorita en el baño de... Pero el pedo ahorita es que estoy... Bueno, acabo de terminar de hacer el baño. Pues estaba todo normal, pero ahorita están ruidos raros y se está tocando la puerta, pero quiero que vean que pues no hay nada. Vean, ahí está mi reflejo, pero vean de este lado, pues aquí no hay nada. Vean, acá tampoco, vean, aquí tampoco hay nada, aquí pues tampoco, vean. Y acá el lugar es bastante pequeño y está mi reflejo. Pero a ver, uy. ¿Escucharon? ¿Escucharon? No hay nada.
First, we can hear some strange noises, as if someone was hitting something. This is when Axel begins his video and starts investigating all the stalls. Then in one of them you can see a pale and creepy face. It's barely visible through the small space of the door, but when he looks inside, there's nobody there, which makes Axel believe that this could have been a ghost perhaps. It is unknown if it was just editing or if somebody had played a prank on him, but he was pretty startled after experiencing this. What do you think happened here? Now to an even more mysterious recording. The uploader states that it was recorded while driving along a road in the city, somewhere in China. It was a nice and sunny day at first, but all of a sudden the weather changed, and besides an unusual strong wind breeze, there was something else that could be seen in the sky.
干成火花了，这啥情况啊？ 哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！
What appears to be a strange bird, or like some people speculated, a dragon can be seen flying through the sky. And then there is a scary looking spark of fire, making some believe that this might have been caused by the creature touching the power wires. A nice film project perhaps, but what makes all of this a little bit weirder is that the same day there have been several other people recording this incident from all kinds of different angles. Take a look. So, all just a big hoax? Some nice editing? Or just an inexplicable encounter? Now we are checking out another submission. The video was captured by a couple who was out the following day to go on a nice hiking trip in the mountains. It is said that several people had gone missing in this area over the years, so there's quite a bit of urban legends and ghost stories that people like to talk about. The trip went quite well, but after returning to their car, something quite scary unfolded, for what they had no explanation for. It looks like a person that is lying right on top of their car and staring into the windshield, but how's that possible? The couple was quite scared and drove away, as fast as they could, based on their reports. Did maybe somebody play a prank on them? If not, perhaps some well-done editing? Or did something otherworldly unfold here? Maybe one of the missing souls? The following video was captured by a man who had moved into a recently abandoned apartment unit. The former tenant had moved out due to some mysterious and scary activity. It seems that whatever was scaring the former tenant might still be lingering in there.
Comienzo a grabar, se me acaba de apagar la palanca otra vez. Se saltaron las jodidas palancas una noche más. Me está sucediendo casi todas las noches, ¿vale? Y que tenga que seguir viviendo aquí porque no tengo dónde ir. ¿Qué cojones es eso, tío? No, 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 no. Voy a llamar, voy a llamar. ¿Qué coño?
It appears that this thing was staring at him from the neighboring empty buildings, however. So how is this possible? Was this thing perhaps bound to the general area and causing hauntings in different parts of the building? Who can say for sure? This is another nightly security encounter captured by a young man who was patrolling the upper levels in his local hospital. He wasn't a believer in the paranormal at all, and apparently had captured this encounter purely by chance. What caused all of this? He heard some unexplained noises from the empty wing of the upper floors, and this was when the recording started.
Alright guys, I'm at the empty floors. I was hearing some noise coming up right now. It's kind of freaking me out, so I'm gonna be filming a little bit. Seeing some. What the
We see a strange shadow figure standing behind one of the chairs right in front of the window. And the young man didn't know if he actually saw this thing at the time, or if it was just a trick of the eye. Pretty eerie, isn't it? But then there was another shadow seen at the end of the hallway that went completely unnoticed. Is it safe to say that ghosts are roaming this empty wing? The following terrifying clip has been shared by Leah Henderson on her profile. It was just a regular day for her, and she was out with her little baby to enjoy the car wash together. The little one apparently always loved the spectacle. Leah wanted to record the event on her phone today to archive it for the family video diary. However, after they arrived back home and were watching the material, something seemed to be with her baby in the back of the car that shouldn't have been there. Let's take a look. Her family members and friends noticed that the creepy face seemed to be popping up right next to her sleeping toddler in the car seat. Does this perhaps resemble the face of a child from the afterlife? Some commenters on her profile believe that they can see exactly that. But how would that be possible? And what a terrifying thought that would be, right?
So I went back to the haunted car wash for my video the other day. I wanted to go ahead and do a video showing me going all the way through the car wash for those who are trying to debunk it or say it's fake. This is kind of a video of the camera, my hair. I wore it wavy just like I did on that day. It was actually videoed back in, I want to say January, maybe February. I'll have to check that. But I've been trying to avoid watching it because it creeped me out. I could see where people would say it's my hair. My hair was wavy and it kind of has that look. For those of you saying that I didn't have a headrest there, there's obviously the headrest. It does get bright on the side of it with all the lights going on.
Long story short, when Leah went once more through the same car wash another day with similar weather conditions, she was unable to recreate this effect, so it could not have been anything reflecting and creating this weird shape, at least in her opinion. In the end, we cannot say what exactly was captured that day, but it is certainly super unsettling, wouldn't you say? This was shared by Lexi, who states that she and her friends played with an old Ouija board in an abandoned apartment and that ever since some really odd things have been unfolding in her own residence. And things got worse by the day. At first she was only hearing strange things in her house, but then she even records something creepy.
We were all laughing, right? We were laughing, ha ha ha, everything's fine, I got good vibes, and all of a sudden, they all look at me. And they're just lifeless. Like they're like, there's like at least like 30 people in the room, okay? And I got the most sick feeling. And all of a sudden, for some reason, I was wearing this cross in my dream. I could, like in my dream, I go like this. And I start to grip my cross. And he was just like, why are you scared? And then the person that I was talking to, he goes, why are you doing that? And then this is where I knew it was demonic. Just basically saying that God doesn't exist. He was like, what do you think he's gonna do for you? Like, I just backed up. And then I started praying to God. So anyways, I was like, oh my God. I went in the kitchen because I was so terrified. And I just said, I rebuke anything in the name of Jesus. Right after I said that, I heard 3 knocks on my front door. And I looked outside, and nobody was there. And so after that, I was like, whatever I casted out of my house, it was like trying to come in my house.
Bought the cutest little samples yesterday.
As she was working on her computer, a sinister face was peeking into her room, which made Lexi believe that a demonic entity must have followed her home. How terrifying, isn't it? This video was taken by a mom who suddenly got really scared while she was at home with her baby. They were just having a normal night, watching a movie together, when something weird started happening.
Please go away. Please go away. You're not wanted. Go away. Whatever you are, go away.
She looked over at the bathroom door and noticed it was wide open. At first, she didn't catch anything weird, but when she watched the video back later, she saw something that made her skin crawl. Right at the bathroom doorway, you can see this dark shadow figure pop up out of nowhere. It happened super fast, so quick that she didn't even see it when it happened. But watching it now, how fast it moves just makes it even creepier. This thing just appears and disappears in a flash. Between seeing this shadow and hearing the bathroom door make a creepy squeaking noise, the mom is pretty sure she caught something not normal on camera. The following was a live stream recording that Melissa Simic, a man from Croatia, shared on his Facebook page at the time. He was traveling a few months ago and decided to venture to an old graveyard situated in the Alps. He stated that inexplicable noises were the reason at first why he was drawn further into the graveyard. And he didn't expect anything out of the ordinary really, but he made out 2 scary looking figures up a little hill.
Ne znam da li je moguće. Ne znam da li ste vidli ili mislim možda što sam sam ovde. Kao da mi se učinilo, ne znam da ste vidjeli, molim vas zavratite, ništa se ne vidi. Ništa ne vidim i dalje. Čini mi se kao da je mrdnulo malo. Ovo mrdnulo.
He thought that this might have been angels at first, perhaps, and describes the figures pretty mist-like. They were moving their arms quite weirdly. And he also swears that these were no statues. People on the internet state that they look pretty malevolent, almost like angels of death. In the end, we cannot be certain what exactly we are seeing here, but I find it's quite the terrifying image. What do you think? Just statues? Or is something else going on here? This video was shared by Caxlin01, who tells us that after moving into what he describes as one of the most haunted houses he ever experienced, things started to fall apart rather quickly. The man shared lots of poltergeist encounters with his viewers, but at a certain point he was sure that the spirit of a little child liked to manifest ever so often to scare him even more. The reasons are unknown. This was one of the latest recordings that he shared with his viewers. Is it possible that we are actually seeing the spirit here? It almost looks a bit too perfect in my opinion, and makes me think of the works of a similar channel. But who knows? I wasn't there after all. The following clip was shared from the inside of BGR's car, he tells us. I was sitting in my car today and this guy drives up and parks. I don't think much of it at first. The guy had a beard and glasses on. After a few minutes of looking at my phone, I glanced up and noticed him staring directly at me, except now he had no face. This sounds quite terrifying, doesn't it? Let's take a look at the actual recording. Whoever is looking at the man here appears to have a deformed face indeed. There are no apparent eyes or other facial features, which makes this event really spooky. What could have been the cause for this bizarre picture? Was the driver just wearing a mask to hopefully scare the person recording? Who knows? The following unsettling videos were recorded from inside the car of Beth. She saw something creepy appear out of thin air right across the street in the woods. And of course she turned her camera on and started capturing this quite eerie event. She shared it with her friends and family at first, so she certainly wasn't looking for any attention.
Talia, get over here. Can't even zoom in any closer.
You see it? It just walks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I initially took the video to send it to my friend. He paces back and forth for hours and hours, not just for 20 minutes at a time. This is hours and hours and hours and days, weeks. I mean, here we are a month and a half later and it's been still there.
She states that this went on for over a month at this point, and that this shadow can mostly be seen from a distance only.
Where we see that figure, it just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times. As I walk up on it, there's just nothing there.
It's quite baffling for sure. People suspected that it might have been a strange reflection from somewhere, while others think this to be impossible, or that somebody was playing a creepy prank. Whatever the answer, it's certainly a creepy incident. Now we are taking a look at some recordings from the infamous haunted Jefferson Hotel, which is known for its many strange ghost sightings. They have several surveillance cameras installed in this old historic building to capture any possible strange activity. Last night, one of the hotel employees got a motion alert on his phone. Apparently, something was seen on one of the upstairs cameras, which was impossible, because nobody but him and his wife were at the hotel. And it was 4 a.m. in the morning.
Up into the stairwell right here. I'm screen capturing, so just bear with the movement. So I went up to the stairwell here, and I'm looking down the hall, waiting to see for somebody. Noticed nobody was there, and then I went to tell my wife because I wanted to tell her, hey, there's someone in the hotel. And then I started watching the footage back, and more it looked like some type of apparition. I don't know. What had happened here is, if you look down at the green door back here, that's room 19, where most of our activity happens here at the hotel anyway. There it is. So to me, that was a person walking by, and I was like, okay. So we searched the hotel. Like I said, nobody was there. So let me show it to you again.
Undoubtedly, we can see a figure walking by all the way in the back of the hallway. And like the man had stated, they searched the whole hotel, but could not find anybody. So, would it be too weird to think that we are seeing one of the many ghosts that are said to haunt the building? There has been another terrifying encounter though that took place when a group of guests stayed in the hotel overnight. On the same floor, they were just talking to each other at the time when something scared them from all across the hallway, just where we saw that figure walking by.
As I was watching the cameras, I noticed that they were talking to each other, and they all jumped back as if something was like yelling at them down the hall. You could see they were all scared. And so I pulled up the footage from the camera down the hall, which would have been down here because that's in the direction they were looking at. And this is what we captured. Listen to this. This is very creepy. So, did you hear that growl? That's what they heard.
Unfortunately, it will remain a mystery what exactly it was, if it was a growl from an angry spirit or something else. Ray Bittner Sr. has shared the following video, which he and a colleague captured at the haunted Davis house in Kokomo, Indiana one night. They were investigating what appears to be an unfinished basement of that building. They had 2 mirrors with them, which they were using to capture whatever wanted to be seen that night. And after trying to communicate with the spirit world, the female investigator might have captured something otherworldly. Take a good look.
down that corner? Huh?
Oh, I see. There we go.
They caught a creepy pair of eyes in the corner of the basement, seemingly staring back at them the moment they turned the flashlight on for a second. Apparently, this was the only time they saw that thing, and they are still speculating as of what or who this could have been. Your idea? Some believe children have an amazing ability to connect with the spirit world. In some cases, they might even see or talk to the other side. In one video, a father was home alone with his son. The child seems to spot something really strange.
Mama, your mama isn't there. There's no one there. Mama. Are you seeing ghosts? Yes.
In another creepy video shared by Carl Harris, his family was visiting his grandmother in Chicago when his little cousin Daya says something unsettling.
That's the man come to see me tonight.
Who comes to see you at night?
The man.
What man? What man? Up here?
He did! The little girl claims that a relative in an old photo on the wall visits her at night. The problem is that person is dead. In fact, the man in the photo died in 2005, more than 14 years before little Daya was born. She never even met the man.
That's the man come to see me tonight.
Who comes to see you at night?
The man.
What man? What man? Up here?
He did! Or did she meet his ghost? What do you think? Another nightly recording. A different group of friends were hanging out at the playground at night. They were having a lot of fun and talked about the good old times when they were kids and loved to spend their afternoons in the park. It was until much later that the girl who was recording this night realized that she caught something really creepy on video. The following video has been sent by Trang. The user states that it was recorded by a dashcam one night in Malaysia. The driver of the vehicle was on the way home and, as always, had to take a pretty deserted stretch of road that leads through several little towns and areas. He stated that local legends tell about ghostly passengers that are asking for a ride. Could that be so? What is also to note is that the following incident wasn't noticed at the time and only retrieved way later when the man was erasing some of the video footage on his memory stick. Let's take a peek. People say that an apparition might be waiting for a ride there, waving at cars that are driving by. Do you think that could be an explanation? If it wasn't a regular person, which based on the area is unlikely, what else could it have been? considering the driver didn't see anything at the time. It's pretty chilling. Now we want to check out a video that was uploaded by Ortega Jr. and apparently a woman was filming her niece, which was in the hospital, unfortunately, and the niece stated that she saw a ghost, and then they were on the hallway in the middle of the night when nobody was out there. They made sure after, and they think they captured a ghost there. Let's take a look.
Mi sobrina ve en Fantasma en Hospital parte 1. Estaba ahí parado, sin moverse, solo observando.
Oh, that? Oh, that looks weird. I mean, yeah, I would say wasn't that just a normal person, but the outfit is super weird. I mean, yes, a red dress shirt and jacket, and the head is completely blended into the background poster or whatever that is. And he looks like he's from a different time, at least to me, right? We are taking a look at another really odd dashcam recording, which was taken by a man who was on the way home one night. He tells us that it is pretty uncommon to come across people on that road, since it's very narrow and not intended for pedestrians. It was also very late that night, slimming down the chances that anybody would decide to walk these streets. Nevertheless, he came across a strange woman. The woman seems to be wearing red clothing of some sorts, but she's not carrying any light source, meaning that she must have been walking up that road for hours in pitch darkness. But the man didn't think anything of it and drove past her, only to run into her again a few minutes later. How was that possible? How could the lady be walking up this pitch-black mountain road faster than a car? Of course this is impossible, and the man was sure that he must have captured a ghost that night. The next clip was uploaded by the channel UFOs and Mysterious Creatures. There's not a lot of information available on the origin of the clips, however it's clear it was taken late at night in the forest. The cameraman was filming for reasons unknown. Perhaps to use the flash to illuminate their path. Regardless of the reason, the cameraman caught far more than just trees that night on camera. As the camera pans to one of the trees, a strange creature can be seen clinging to the trunk. The figure is a strange brown-gray color with red eyes and a weirdly shaped head. What do you believe this could be? This odd creature clearly startles the cameraman, who pans away quickly and can be seen running away from the area. It's possible this could be a monkey or another creature, but something about this sighting is just extremely creepy, from the strange head to the glowing eyes. What is your idea? Paranormal? A creature? Or something completely different? A video that was shared by Rick, and he told me that he found it on Reddit. Apparently, a car without an owner is passing by the exit when the security guard is getting the spook of his life. thinks this is a prank at first and walks around the car to see what is going on. Further explained apparition seems to be coming from the back of the car, just floating above it and freaking the man out, making him flee the scene. It is said that it was never explained what exactly transpired that night. If it wasn't a hoax, which I think is very likely, it could be something most of us would never understand. This video was captured by the Highway 9, who shared it after going on a hiking trip and stumbling across an open cave that he wanted to investigate with his shepherd dog. It didn't take long until the man made it quite deep into these tunnel systems, and then strangeness unfolded.
Oh, come on.
Another faceless figure can be seen, standing in the distance, seemingly looking at the man. It's wearing a black robe of some sorts, and is potentially pretty tall. No facial features whatsoever can be made out. Quite remarkable that all these entities across the world have a similar look to them, don't you think? Perhaps proof that there is in fact more mysterious stuff going on in some of these tunnels than one could expect. We want to take a look at the continuous haunting of Dino Nuggets, who seems to be living with a really scary shadow being in his home. He has captured this creature before on several occasions, and today he's making his way into the basement once more to tell this demon about some news. Let's take a look.
Heard glass break. There's nothing down there but my windows to break. Shit, man. I'm leaving the house, man. You're done. Catch me if you can. I'm leaving, man. Have it out now.
It is unknown to me if Dino is leaving this house for good, possibly moving into a bit more peaceful home. I'm sure nobody would fault him for that. However, this being seems not to be too happy with this decision. as he's bolting out of the basement after dropping his phone. We are being left with a glimpse of what was with him in the basement that night. The same shadow creature that we have seen before, no doubt about that. Now the question is, will this thing follow Dino into his new home? I guess we will have to wait and see. The following video was shared by Pasillo Infinito, and it features a not further known paranormal enthusiast that is experiencing some really odd activity in his home. Tonight in particular, a lot of stuff seemed to be happening around his closet, and this was when he captured the following.
What the? What is that? What the?
Some say that he captured the spirit of a boy here. Could this be possible? It's really weird though, since the temperature seemed to drop and rise whenever he was pointing towards this being. Do you think this man is being haunted by a lost soul? Or is it just a hoax after all? This clip was uploaded by FrostmareTV, and it certainly is very strange. It seems to have been taken from a CCTV in some sort of gravel yard or maybe a construction site. The CCTV picks up a bizarre shadow figure that appears to be floating through the yard. If you look closely, you can make out what appears to be a head and even two arms. It also seems that some dogs in the area have noticed the figure as well. They look to be running and barking towards whatever it is that is floating through. Things get even stranger though as it moves up towards the road. It seems to become more and more human-like. This is definitely a very mysterious video. What could possibly explain this odd capture? Do you think this is truly a ghostly spirit caught on the CCTV? The next video was shared on the profile of Elizam J, and the story goes that the place the family is living in apparently is notorious for inexplicable sightings and even ghostly apparitions. This evening, a young man is performing a dance in his room for TikTok, and the second he starts, he hears a weird cracking noise coming from underneath his bed, which catches his attention instantly, and he decides to take a closer look. Let's look at that again. It clearly appears to be a little girl, leaning in and then disappearing into the bed frame again. How odd. Where could she be hiding, if this is just a skit? Also notice how the camera is shaking the moment she appears. I'm not sure if that's related, but it's interesting. In the end, it's hard for us to judge if that is actually a real occurrence or just another family member. following video was posted by the Beast 670 and was captured during a Chernobyl trip a while back. It was recorded by two paratroopers who were landing on site and venturing through many of the derelict houses in abandoned areas. They did not come across any living person at that time, but found a really odd looking thing on their recording after checking out their footage a while after that. The description only says, "What is that at the right side on the screen? Hashtag Chernobyl trip." Let's see. Could you notice it? Let's take a second look at that. What exactly can you see here? People say it looks like an apparition that is making its way out of the hallway. Others claim it's just a part that came off from the ceiling. In my opinion, it could be both. There's just so much going on in this area though. I guess it will stay a mystery. The next video was recorded by Angel, and he states that there is a building in his local town that many people say is haunted. And ever so often, a report comes in from friends or family members that claim that they have seen weird things that were going on in this building. He saw strange things as well in there, but could never really capture it. The building was converted to a supermarket, by the way. This night, a friend on the passenger seat of his car recorded while they were driving through the street in question. And while passing by the store, there seemed to be something mysterious that can be seen in the window. Let's take a look. Apparently the store was closed around that time, which I believe. It looks like nobody remained in there after closing hours. Yet, some viewers believe that they see an elderly lady standing there. Could that be so? But how? Very curious.